Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel which you can see on the slide, that is Excel in English by Vidya ma'am. Well guys, before I begin with my today's video, I must share that lots of exams are going on these days, whether these are entrance exams or competitive exams. So many of you might be preparing for these exams or might be busy also. So maybe I would help in your my today's lesson might help you in your these exams. Well, before I begin with today's topic, let me remind you my today's topic is actually uh, continuation with the my previous video, that is non-finite verbs, and in that video I have explained you about one kind of the non-finite verbs, that is infinitives, right? Okay, let's before I just explain you the next kind which you can see on the slide, that is gerunds. Let me just for recall, let us revise a few points, or you can say the basic concepts of non-finite verbs, so that you can connect that with our today's topic. So well guys, non-finite verbs, if you remember, I have explained you in my previous video also. Actually, in very simple language, non-finite verbs, if we talk about, they are actually uh, all the action words which actually they look like verbs, but they do not play the role of verb. We can say that they just act like imposters. Now you will just see who is an imposter. A person in disguise, you can say that. Actually, we think he is, for example, we think the policeman comes to your house. So you might think he is a policeman, but actually he is a thief who has come to steal something from your house. So it is just like that. So these non-finite verbs look like verbs, but they are not actually verbs. So three, 4 points are there which you should always remember about non-finite verbs. The first one is that no helping verbs are required to frame sentences for these. Second is they come at their own. Third is no change of tenses is there when we use non-finite verbs. Fourth is that they never act like action words, right? If we talk about infinitives, of course ing was not used, but when we talk about gerunds and the next kind, that is participles, we use verb plus ing form in gerunds and participles. So my today's topic is the first one, gerunds. Now before I begin with this topic, what is the definition, or how many kinds are there, or how these are used, before that let me clarify, or you might also feel confused about that. Gerunds also are the ing form of the verb, the base form of the verb plus ing, and participles are also the base form of the verb and ing. So here comes the confusion, but it can become clear to you with certain points which I am going to discuss in this video. Okay, so let's first go through the definition along with the examples so that it becomes clear to you, right? So first thing which you have to remember, before I just read the definition which is given in the slide in front of you, one thing which you have to always remember about gerunds is that it has, or the gerunds have, the all qualities of noun, right? So I will be explaining this thing one by one. We will take just one example, but let me read out the definition first, then we'll continue with the rest of the part. So a gerund is a noun made from verb. Just note it down. It is a noun made from a verb, that is the base form of the verb, the first form of the verb, by adding ing. So next part of the definition goes like that: the gerund form of the verb read, for example, this is the example, read, if we add ing to this, it becomes reading. So you can use a gerund as the subject. So just note it down also, that in how many forms we can use gerund. Of course, we will be discussing this one by one in the next slides. So we can use the gerund as the subject, the first the subject, second as the complement or the object, or two more uses are there which I will be explaining you in this video. So let's first take the examples so that basic concept of what are gerunds becomes clear to you. So the first example is reading helps you learn English, right? Now which word is highlighted? Of course reading is highlighted here, and since it is coming in the beginning of the sentence and it is just the subject of the sentence, so that means the first use of gerunds or how they are used is as a subject of the sentence, right? The second example sorry, her favorite hobby is reading. Now reading is highlighted here, and we know that reading is just playing the part of an object, so that it means gerunds can also be used as the object of a sentence or complement of the sentence, or you can say complementary verbs. If you remember, I have discussed these kind of verbs in my video on verbs, so I hope you remember that. Next is I enjoy reading. So in the what is the difference between the previous sentence and this? If you can see, her favorite hobby is reading. What is the main verb in this sentence? So the main verb here is, right? It is not auxiliary verb, it is a linking verb here. So that's why reading is complementary verb here. But in the next sentence, I enjoy reading, if we clearly see, the main verb is enjoy, I is the subject, so reading is the object of the sentence. That means gerunds also play the role of objects in the sentences. Now before going to the next slide, or how these are used in different forms, how gerunds are used in different form, let me give you one example. Just take any of the verb and just add ing. The example which I am taking here, you can note down this in your notebooks also. So in very because this is I am explaining in a very simple way, so it becomes clear to you, no confusion stays there in your minds. Let me take one example, swimming, right? So swimming, in how many different ways we can use swimming as a gerund, this will become clear to you through this example. So first just requirement for gerund is that it should be it should have all the qualities of a noun, right? So if I take swimming as the gerund, the sentence goes like this: swimming is my passion. Now here swimming is acting like subject, right? So another way which we can use this swimming only as gerund but in a different way is my swimming is too good. So here also is this is acting like a possessive adjective. So next you can see like this swimming is boring. So here also it is adjective, demonstrative adjective, but guys just note it down, in both the sentences these are not nouns, they are not fulfilling the quality of a noun because they are qualifying the adjectives, right? So the thing which you should always keep in your mind is that they should fulfill the qualities of noun, only then they can be gerunds. So in brief we can say that gerunds are the special names. This you can note down in your copies also, just for understanding. Gerunds are special names given to nouns with ing. So in very simple words, gerunds can be explained by this way: all the nouns with ing form are actually the special names. So where the special name comes, it means the nouns, right? So now let's just go to the next slide, and how we use gerunds in different ways, or which are the different types of gerunds. And this briefly I have discussed in the previous slide also. Now one by one we would be taking the different types of gerunds. The first one which you can see on the slide is when we use gerund as a subject, right? And you know very well that subjects and objects are always either the nouns or the pronouns. So here we are using them as nouns, right? So first when we use gerunds as nouns, the example given here is gardening is my favorite hobby, and of course gardening is playing the role of a subject. So another which you can see, before I read out the next this example, let me just clarify this to you. Gerunds, we have gerunds come in the form of phrases also, which we call gerund phrases. And of course I don't think there is a need of explanation of what is a phrase or what is a clause. Guys, you might be knowing what are phrases, the group of words with some meaning, some sense. So gerunds also can be used in the form of phrases. So the second example is just an example of a gerund phrase. I will just clarify this to you. Let me read out the example first. Gardening in the summer time is a challenge because of the heat. Now first you recognize, because I am talking about gerund phrases, first you have to recognize which part of the sentence is a phrase, right? So if you just see in the summertime, generally most of the phrases have prepositions in them. So here also the same situation is there. In the summertime is the phrase, and if we read it collectively, the gerund phrase is gardening in the summertime. So this is the gerund phrase, and of course gardening is acting like a subject here. So it is that kind where gerund is used as a subject. Now if you can see in the slide, the gerund is followed by a modifying adverbial phrase. Now you should understand this also, this part of the sentence also. This gerund, that is the gerund phrase, which is gardening in the phrase, it is followed by which part? Because of the heat. So this is the adverbial phrase here, but we are not going to discuss this thing because our topic is not this. So let's move to the next kind, or how the gerund is used in the second way. So the second way is when we use it as an object or the direct object, right? So the definition which you can see on the slide is my neighbors admire my gardening. So you can see that I have just taken only one gerund, that is gardening, because by taking one the difference you can see between the different kinds. That's why I am just taking one example, one gerund I am taking, so that how we use the gerunds in different ways becomes clear to you by just one example only, one gerund only. So here it is my neighbors admire my gardening. So of course the subject is my neighbors and the object is gardening. So here gerund is playing the role of object. So let's move to the next example given under this title. I am enjoying my gardening this year, right? Just remember this thing also, that we can add additional parts like you can say some phrase or some adverb also. So these things can be added in the sentence. They do not have any effect on the use of gerund, like it is in this sentence. I am enjoying my gardening this year. So this year is additional part of this, which is explained also. The direct object of the subject is my gardening this year. So here the subject is I and object is my gardening this year. It is qualifying this thing, right? I hope till here you might have understood this thing. And let's move to the next use, or you can say kind, which is, let's see, object of the preposition. Now from the name you might get confused that what kind of type is this, but don't worry, you can, when we go through the examples, it will become clear to you that how we can use the gerunds as the object of the preposition. So prepositions, you know, no need to explain it. Let me read out the definition, the example given. I have received several awards for my gardening. Now because this is object of preposition, first you must see what is the preposition given here. Just go through this thing, that what is the preposition here. So if you see, the preposition is for, right? So it is qualifying the preposition for. So the awards have been given for the results of the activity. Which activity? Gardening. So that's why it is acting like the object of the preposition. Now let me take the next example so it becomes more clear to you, right? The second example goes like that. Some people consider my interest. Now here also gerund phrase is there, which is gardening and obsession, which you can see in the slide also. But the point is that which preposition is before this phrase. So you can see that in preposition is given here, so it is qualifying the preposition in. So that's why it is acting like a, because it is coming after the preposition in, so it is acting like the object of the preposition, right? So I hope till here you have understood. Now let's just go through the next kind, which you can see is subject complement. That is when it is a complement for the subject. Now see the example given here. My favorite hobby is gardening. So first you should, before just thinking how it acts like the subject complement, just think what is the subject here. So of course gardening is the subject and it is described as an activity, not the act of doing it. So, and another way how you can just differentiate between the other kinds of gerunds is that this kind is just the reverse of the first example. If you remember what I gave as gardening is my favorite hobby. If you remember what example I gave you in the beginning, when it acts like, or the gerund acts like a subject, the example which I gave you was gardening is my favorite hobby. There gardening was acting as a subject. But if we reverse that sentence, the first one only, so the sentence goes like this: my favorite hobby is gardening. So that's why here gardening, the role of gardening, the word or the this gerund is totally reversed. It has totally changed. Here it is acting as a subject complement. It is a complement to the subject, which is gardening, right? So let's take another example. I do my gardening in the morning. So gardening in the morning is a phrase, but no need to say that gardening is also a object here. It is just as the complement to the subject, right? So this is about the how we use in different ways. Now let's see how we use in the another way. So here if you see that in the slide, how we use in different ways, how gerunds are used in different ways. If you can see, let me read it out first. Gerunds can be the subject of a sentence. This we have already done. I have already explained you, so it's not required. Swimming is good for you. Here swimming is subject. But in the next sentence, I don't like swimming, it is totally reverse. Here swimming is acting like an object. This thing we have discussed. Then the next thing which is important also, after some verbs. Let me read it out, then I will explain it too. You can use the ing form after some verbs such as enjoy, admit, appreciate, can't, stand, help, bear, deny, avoid. So these are some of the verbs given here. With them we use ing and it becomes a gerund. So let me read out the example. I can't stand doing nothing. So what is the verb here with which ing is added? Doing. So that means doing is the gerund here. Another is she denied breaking the copier. Now remember this thing also, that you must always see in the sentence what is the main verb, because they do not play the role of a verb. So just always recognize what is the main verb in the sentence. Like if we see this sentence, I can't stand doing nothing. What is the main verb here? Can't stand. And in the next sentence, she denied breaking the copier. Denied is the main verb or the principal verb, and of course breaking is the gerund here, right? As earlier I told you, earlier I have said that gerunds, participles, infinitives, they do not have any impact or effect of the tenses. Whatever tense we use in the sentence, they are not changed. Like if I take this example, she denied breaking the copier. Breaking, the gerund which is in this sentence is breaking, of course. It will not have any effect if I change the tense of the sentence. Like if I change she denies, in place of denied I use the present tense of this verb denied, then also the next part of the sentence will remain same. Breaking the copier will not change. It does not have any effect of the tense. And similarly, if I change the gender or the number of the subject or the noun she, in place of she if I use they denied, then also breaking the copier does not have any effect. So this is the major concept of gerunds or all the non-finite verbs, that they do not have any effect of the number, of the gender, of the tense. So this is the major way how you can differentiate between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. So let's move to the next part, how we use the gerunds. Let me read it out first. With other verbs, use the gerund after a preposition. If you remember this, I have read the third type in the previous slide, which was object of the preposition. So this is just an explanation of that only. When we use the gerund after a preposition, if you remember, I have given the example which was I have received several awards for my gardening. So it is used after the preposition for, and gardening is the gerund here, so it is the same thing. Some of the verbs which are given, which are used: admit to, doing is used; approve of, approving of, you can say; argue, concentrate, and feel like. So all these are doing words, so we can use ing with these. Let's move to the next slide. Then the third one, how we can use this, is with, from, and to with some verbs. So these are the prepositions given, which preposition can be used with gerunds. So example is here, he prevented her from leaving. So which is the preposition being used here? From. And which is the principal verb here? Prevented. So leaving is the living is the gerund here, and of course it is the third kind, which is object of preposition, right? So other examples are also there, which you can read. Does anyone object to me smoking? So smoking is the gerund, of course, and to is the preposition used here. Another example, it is given here, it took him a long time to get used to living in a city. So get used to is of course a phrase, and you can say prepositional phrase it is, and living is the gerund. Then after prepositions, how they are used, how gerunds are used after the prepositions. So let me read out the definition so it becomes clear to you. Before going out, he turned off the heating. So before going out is the prepositional phrase and heating is the gerund here. Next example is I am tired of arguing. So arguing is the gerund and it is acting like an object, and of is the preposition used here. Next examples also you can just see. These are used for cracking walnuts. Cracking is the gerund. I passed the exam by remembering the equations. By is the preposition and remembering is the gerund here. So these are used with prepositions. And the last kind which is given here is in some fixed expressions. So guys, before explaining this thing, I must explain you what are fixed expressions. Only then you will understand how gerunds are used in the fixed expressions. So before reading out these, as you can see what are the examples given here, as well as doing, it's no good doing, it's no use doing. But let me just take these fixed expressions in with examples. Some of the simple ones are like that. Very simple example I will give you so that you understand this concept, and that is wastes one's time. This is also a fixed expression. So fixed expressions are actually, you can say, the fixed phrases which generally used with the same prepositions and same other parts, and they have the fixed meaning also. So fixed expressions are those part of group of words which have the fixed meaning, and we always use them in one sense only, right? So waste one's time is the example which I am giving you. And let me just take this expression in use this in a sentence. So it goes like that: she always wastes her time playing video games. So the expression here is as said earlier, wastes her time, and of course the gerund is playing, right? So in this way we use gerunds with fixed expressions. And let me take some more examples. Like it is given here, it is no use doing. So let me take this one only. So let me frame sentence from this. It's no use doing that activity, or it's no use doing dancing with him, like that. So dancing here is gerund, and of course doing that activity, doing becomes the gerund part. So let me clarify this you with another example. He always spends its time. The expression is spends one's time. So let me tell you how we can use this along with the gerund. He always spends his time working out at the gym. So spends his time is the fixed expression, and working is working out. Working is the gerund here. So this is the way how we use gerunds in with fixed expressions. So this is all about the gerunds, the different kinds of gerunds, and how we use this in different forms. I hope you have understood, and still if some queries are there, again I would say that just you can message me on my Telegram. And once again let me remind you to just subscribe my channel and just share it to others. And of course just you can see this on Facebook also. And with that I conclude this, and I must remind you my next video will be in continuation with this one only. That is the third kind of the non-finite verbs, which is we have till now we have discussed gerunds, infinitives, and now the third kind which is left is the progressive, or you can say the third kind. So that we will be doing in my next video. Of course the third kind, which is participles. So how many kinds are there and how we use that, I am going to discuss in the next video with this. Thank you.